Hello friends, it is Nomad Brad coming to you from my box truck. I'm doing an unannounced, unscheduled live broadcast. My regular live is on Wednesday and I did one yesterday, but it was like a silent vlog, so I couldn't access the chat. It was just me riding around on my e-bike, and so I wanted to do kind of a makeup live stream and just kind of connect with you guys and give you guys a little update. And so I know there's probably not going to be too many people here, although I see one person did just join. Happy to have you here on the live stream. But what's going on is I made it back to San Diego. John C, what's up, my man? Happy to see you. It's me, John C, coming through for the live stream. Hello, John C. I'm making a little dinner. I made it back to San Diego, and I just wanted to pop in and say hi. I missed everybody on the live stream yesterday, and so I'm just going to go ahead and make some dinner, and you guys are welcome to watch, tune in, tune out, do whatever you want, but I'm going to be doing a little live stream. 55th birthday. Happy birthday, John C. I gotta say, you look much younger than 55. Whatever you're doing it right. Must be all that chorizo. All that chorizo is keeping John C in good shape, looking healthy, looking strong. And I love it. Happy to see you. You got it, John C. You got it. So we're going to be making a little dinner, a little nomad dinner. Going to be adding some fruit or some vegetables. So for the last, about the last year, I've been pretty much strictly carnivore. Oh, John C dropped 45 pounds. Very nice. That's a good accomplishment. King Gamer, happy to see me. Happy to see you too, brother. What we drinking? Honestly, Nomad Brad pretty much just drinks water. I know it's not super fun and exciting, but water keeps me hydrated. And I used to drink a lot back in the day, and so now I don't really drink so much anymore. Trying to see if I can get you guys all in the shot here with the food. So, what I was getting at is Nomad Brad has been strictly carnivore for about the last year, and just recently I've been having some like inflammation in my joints, and I think it might be partially due to lack of vegetables and fiber. And so I got to admit, I wasn't really doing carnivore right. The proper way to do carnivore is you have to eat like a lot of variety of meats. And Danny G wants some extra dinner. You got it, Danny G. We're doing chicken and some vegetables. So proper carnivore is you're supposed to eat all kinds of like organs and like bone marrow and, you know, all parts of the animal. But that was pretty hard for me living in a van, you know, because you have to do a lot of stews and like, you know, cook up bone broth and stuff. So I wasn't really doing carnivore right, and having some inflammation recently. And so I'm adding some more vegetables into my diet. Gonna see how that does. See if that helps old Nomad Brad keep on moving. We've got to keep the solar hand strong, you know what I mean, for cutting and crimping wires and all that. So I got back in the vegetable game, but we're not going full veggie. I'm still doing meats, but I'm just adding some vegetables. So tonight we're gonna do some radishes, some cucumber, some carrots, some bell pepper. Try to get some veggies in the mix. And but I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit. Fast food is a healthier choice. John C, chicken, chorizo, white onion, yellow bell pepper. That sounds very healthy, John C. That's why John C looks so young. He's got the healthy foods. He's got all the veggies in there. So Nomad Brad's gonna be adding in some veggies. See how it does. But the thing I wanted to tell you about was the van. So the van repair was a huge success. Big shout out to Josh LLC. You know, I put a shout out on the YouTube channel for anyone that could help me with the van, even if you couldn't physically help me, to help me find someone who could. And so Josh LLC was a member of a Facebook group that basically is a whole bunch of mechanics throughout the country. And he was able to find a guy named AD who works at the U-Haul Center. He is a U-Haul, like the lead technician at the U-Haul Service Center in Los Angeles. And so Josh LLC put me in touch with him. And this mechanic, AD, I talked to him and he says, man, my line puts out like 5 or 6 U-Hauls a day. We work on any imaginable problem. So he says, bring it on by. Let me take a look at it and I'll get you fixed up the same day. He was super confident and I like confidence. And sure enough, he was able to get me going in one day. Hey, Donald Frazier, happy to see you, buddy. Thank you for joining the live today. So what ended up happening, AD crawled under my van, looked around, and within like 5 minutes of looking at my rig, he was like, hey, your center support bearing is all out of alignment. It's all jacked up. And I told him I just had this part replaced like 6 months ago. And he said, well, when's the last time you've had your driveline balanced? And I said, never. In fact, in all the vehicles I've ever owned, I've never balanced a driveline. And he said at U-Haul, they balance their drive lines every 15,000 miles. And so he said, probably what happened is your drive line is out of balance and it took out the center support bearing and that has been taking out the seals on your transmission brake. And so he went ahead and rebuilt the whole transmission brake for me, replaced the carrier bearing. And then the next day I went to the driveline shop and had him check it for balance. And sure enough, it was very much out of balance. He said it was super rough and he could barely get it back in balance because of how damaged it was. But he was able to fix it up, get it balanced, and get me on my way. And so that kind of puts everything in place. And I just drove today about 3 hours from LA down to San Diego, and I didn't have any leaks, no issues. And so I think we got it fixed. I think we solved it. And yeah, super happy about this. And the cool thing too is I made a new connection, this mechanic AD up in Los Angeles. He's like, anytime you need help or you need parts, let me know. I'll take care of you. I can work on your rig or get you the parts you need. So it was a very good connection, and I'm grateful for Josh LLC for making that happen. And I did put out the word that I was going to be paying $1,000 cash to anybody that could help me find a solution. Josh LLC helped me find that solution. And so I emailed them and I said, hey man, I'm a man of my word. Let me send you this $1,000. And so Josh LLC said, you know, I really don't want, you know, you to just give me cash for what I did. I appreciate it. I don't want the cash. However, Josh LLC says I do need a refrigerator for my van build. He's currently building out an E350 high top cargo van. And so I said, you know what? I have the perfect fridge for you. So I'm going to go ahead and send Josh LLC that bougie RV refrigerator that I just got in. And that thing retails for like 600 bucks, maybe 700. So it's a pretty close trade-off. And so I'm going to film a review for that fridge and then mail it out to Josh LLC. And that completes the circle of nomads helping nomads. And I'm super happy to have this hopefully behind me and hopefully no breakdowns for a while. And so I will be back on the road doing nomad stuff, excited to do some more traveling. So the next thing we got going is I'm going to cook up some chicken here. And hopefully it's not too noisy for you guys in the live stream. Hopefully it's not too bad. John C., you put out good vibes. You should receive good vibes, and it appears you are receiving. Yes, John C., absolutely. I agree with you. You know, I've come to realize in the past 6 years, you know, whatever you put out into the universe ultimately kind of comes back to you. And I see that a lot with this Facebook page because I try to just put out good vibes. I don't talk trash. I don't bring negativity. And everybody that follows and comments and joins the lives for the most part is super positive and a good vibe type of people. And every subscriber that I've met in person has also been equally cool. So I feel like it's kind of proof that when you put out the good vibes, they circle right back at you. Donald Frazier, I do read your comments. I read every comment on the live and also on my regular video posts. So I'm always keeping an eye out to see, what the subscribers have to say. Fighting to Survive, greetings fellow humans from Sacramento. Hello, Fighting to Survive, you are in the area. I'm coming to you from San Diego, California, just left LA, which is pretty close to Sacramento. And had a good time up there, did some e-bike riding, hung out with a couple of Nomad friends, Dan's gaming van, and also Suron Dave. Both of those guys are super nice, super fun, just positive homies. And so it was fun to hang out with them. And Dave sent me a pin to a super cool stealth camping spot right by the LA Dodgers Stadium. We were just a couple blocks away. And so I stayed there for a couple nights, hung out, did an e-bike ride. It was super fun. I really enjoyed the e-bike ride. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do an e-bike review myself for the channel. And so I will find an e-bike sponsor that wants to send me one. And we'll do a little test, see how it goes, and do some Nomad e-bike riding. And I'm pretty excited about that. Looking forward to it. I know when I posted that live yesterday, a lot of people were asking about e-bikes. And, I've never ridden one before last night. Kat, thank you. I'm glad you liked the kitchen. I wanted a big space. I wanted to have a lot of counter space. And so you guys can see I got a pretty good sized kitchen there. That's like that's like an 8-foot countertop that I have right there. And then on this side, I have my sink with the cutting board and then another 4 feet of counter space. So lots of room in here to make food and kind of stretch out. I got my towel drying. I just went to Planet Fitness a couple hours ago, so I got my towel drying out. And yeah, it was very nice. Very, very nice. So that's what I'm up to, doing a little cooking tonight. We're gonna do some veggies and some chicken breast. And I have this sauce that I really enjoy, Japanese barbecue sauce. It's a little sweet. There's not a ton of sugar in it. 7 grams of sugar, little bit of sugar, but it's really tasty. It's almost like a teriyaki. It's like a teriyaki barbecue sauce, really delicious. Donald Frazier, yeah, I'm so happy that the e-brake is resolved. I also want to let you guys know, for anyone that's considering one of these box trucks, they stopped doing the transmission e-brake in 2008. So if you get a 2008 and newer, they went back to a regular, parking brake on the rear wheels. So if you guys get an 08 or newer, you don't have to worry about the transmission mounted parking brake. Although I have to say, I've had 2 vehicles with this unit. My last box truck and also my shuttle bus. They both had transmission mounted parking brakes and I never had problems with them. So I don't know why just on this unit it happened to be an issue for me, but it was a good reminder, kind of wake up call, that these rigs do require a little more maintenance. And so, you'll want to get your driveline balanced and checked out, and there's a little more maintenance on these than on a regular vehicle. So it's good to know. When I was up at the U-Haul in Monrovia, California, I went to the U-Haul Service Center to meet with AD. And they had a bunch of rigs for sale. They had a bunch of the 17-foot box trucks, which are basically one size larger than mine. And so they were about $12,000. So not a bad price. And the cool thing about buying the trucks directly from U-Haul is they run them through their service center. And after talking with AD and learning about the maintenance they do on these rigs, guys, these U-Hauls are really well taken care of. James, yes, you definitely need to get a box truck. I've been talking with Dan's gaming van about getting a box truck. You just get so much more space, and it's just such a nice upgrade. But anyway, after talking with AD about all the maintenance and service they do to these rigs, these U-Hauls are constantly maintained. They have very high standards for all their service. And when they sell them, when you buy a box truck from U-Haul, they go through all their inspection points. They do all the service items, the brakes, the fluids, all of it. So when you buy a rig from them, regardless of the mileage that's on it, if they sell it as a good condition rig, you can be confident that it's been well maintained and that, you know, you're not going to run into any issues right away. So I'm really feeling pretty good about buying a rig from U-Haul. And I think what I'm going to do is, James, pros and cons of each model size. I don't. There's a lot of pros and cons. If you're talking about box trucks specifically, really the only pro and con is size. They're all going to be about the same fuel economy. Even the little box truck, even the 10-foot box truck, you're still only going to get like 12 miles a gallon. If you get a big one like mine, or I was talking to Dave, he has the 17-foot box. It's 2 feet longer than mine. And even with that box truck, he still gets 10 miles a gallon. And so the only difference is size. And so the reason I like mine is, so my floor is 12 feet long, my roof is 14 foot, but U-Haul calls it the 15-foot super mover. So if you guys are looking at box trucks online, this exact same rig, it could be a 12-foot, it could be listed as a 14-foot, it could be listed as a 15-foot, but they're all the same actual size. So no, I don't have AAA. Rolling the dice, baby, no coverage. So the reason I bought this box truck is because this is the largest rig you can get that still fits into a regular parking space. And so if you want to go grocery shopping or go into a shopping center, if you don't want to have to worry about finding extra large parking, then this rig, you can pretty much guarantee you'll find parking for this. When you go one size up into the 17-foot, you'll be limited on parking. And I can't tell you how many times I run into that, where I'm at a place and my truck barely fits, and I realize if I had the bigger truck, I wouldn't be able to park there. However, it's just a consideration that you have to take into account, you know, when you are parking somewhere. Yeah, being able to stand up is huge. You know, as long as you just do the math and make sure that you're able to park somewhere. And if you're not going to be doing a lot of city stealth camping, if you're going to be doing more like nature stuff out in the forest, then, you know, the next size up is no problem. Yeah, Jeff, I bought my box truck in Dallas, Fort Worth. So yes, all the box trucks are the same headroom except for the 10-foot. The 10-foot is only 6 foot high. But the 12-foot, my size and everything up is going to give you, the ceilings are like 7 foot 3 inches because after I did insulation and flooring, I'm at 7 feet floor to ceiling. So if you get my size or larger, you're going to have that 7-foot headroom by the time you build it out, which is pretty nice. Hey, Josh LLC, happy to see you, brother. Yeah, you got to make some money for solar panels. Make sure you get those solar panel deals, man. Get some on Marketplace. I see them all the time. And now the panels are getting larger. I saw here in San Diego some 450-watt solar panels. Brand new for sale for 120 bucks a piece. So that's a pretty good deal. But what I was getting at is I think what I want to do... Yeah, John C., 6'1", needs to stand up. I hear you, brother. If you want to stand up, get a U-Haul, baby. Yeah, short Econoline's no good. It's a game changer to be able to stand up, but then also being able to walk around. Hey, what's up, Sonny? Happy to see you. Happy to have you in the live stream. So, yeah, because in a lot of vans you can stand up, like a high top Econoline, you can stand up, but you can't really move around. But once you get to the box truck, I'll give you guys a little preview here. Once you get to the box truck, like, You can spin around completely. There's plenty of room. You know what I mean? You don't feel cramped. Even if there's 2 people in here, I mean, my floors are 4 feet wide between my counters. So, I mean, you can easily have 2 people hanging out. You can pass each other. Yeah, with an attic. All the U-Hauls have the grandma's attic in them, which is nice because as far as like the width goes, you know, if you get like a Sprinter van or a Transit, by the time you put in all the counters, you have this narrow hallway that you basically have to live in. And if there's 2 people, you really can't squeeze by each other. It's pretty tight. But with all the space in here, I mean, you can totally have a couple people hanging out, moving around. Lots of room for activities. So I love the box truck. This is my platform for life. I'm not going to anything else. But I do think I want to get the next size up. It's not ideal. You know, like I mentioned, hello, Big T from Michigan. Happy to have you in the chat. Happy to have you here. Like I mentioned before, this one fits perfectly in any parking space, but I am going to want to get the bigger size up, mostly just so I can haul all the tools and supplies for my solar install company. And I also want to be able to haul an e-bike. So I want to get a nice e-bike and be able to haul that. And so I'll end up putting a door on the side, a side entry door, so that I can have an e-bike across the back. And then I'll do like the rear door that hinges up. So like when I pull up on the beach, I can flip open the rear door and look at everything. So I think that'd be pretty fun. But yeah, so that's Super Dave coming through with the super chat. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you. I appreciate having you here. And I'm happy you found the live stream. I know I didn't announce it. I missed everybody yesterday because I wasn't able to talk to you guys on my live stream. And so I wanted to do a makeup call tonight. And I think it's going good. We got a lot of people asking questions about box trucks. And so I always like being able to help people out and steer people towards the box truck freedom life. It's a great life. Super Dave is awesome. He's such a loyal supporter. I appreciate him being here. Sonny, you're right. I was drifting on the streets of Cali. Yeah, James, I know you've probably seen them. They're all over the internet now. Wanderbox was kind of the first ones to do that design, and they're good friends of mine. And so I'll consult with Mark when the time comes and figure out how to make that all happen. But my goal is to do a build out this winter. So I want to get a new box truck, another U-Haul, the next size up, and then build it out in the desert on BLM land over the wintertime. And so it'll be a invitation to all the followers, anyone that wants to come down and hang out and watch the build process, just hang with the fans, hang with the Nomad box truck family. There'll be a lot of other vehicle dwellers already in there because Arizona is like Nomad Central in the wintertime. So there'll be a bunch of events going on and activities and like music, and it's going to be a really fun time hanging out. And then additionally, I want to do a build out on my next box truck. So if you guys want to come down and hang out, I'd love to have you there. Dave is making progress on his Scion. I'm happy to hear that, Dave. I know Dave's going to be doing a little Scion stealth camper, and so that'll be fun. You'll be able to park that anywhere. The benefit of those vehicles is just how stealthy they are. I mean, you can literally go anywhere you want in the country, and nobody's really going to hassle you. And they're pretty roomy. They're boxy. It's like a miniature box truck, you know? They got a little box on them, and you can get pretty comfortable in them. So happy to hear that. You might consider throwing a solar panel on the roof. Also, Super Dave, there's a product you might look into, a inverter charger with... So Rich Solar makes a product that's a DC to DC charger with solar inputs. So it's one box. You can throw up a couple solar panels on the roof, and then also you can connect it to your alternator. So it will allow you to charge a house battery or a power station just when you're driving, and additionally when the sun's out. So something like that would be a good choice for you. It'll be easy to charge up your house batteries for whatever devices you want to run. So if you have any questions on that, shoot me an email. Super Dave, and I'd be happy to send you a link to it. But it's pretty affordable. I think it's about 250 bucks, and it's a super good unit. I think you'd be real happy with it. I've installed quite a few of them, and they've been really good for my clients. And Rich Solar is a good company, so pretty much anything they put out is reliable. Melissa, Northern Carolina, hello. Happy to have you here in the live stream. We're just hanging out doing Nomad stuff. I'm currently doing a little cooking. I got some chicken going on the skillet. I just cut up some vegetables. So we're gonna do some vegetables and chicken for dinner. Trying to keep it healthy. I got to admit, as I was driving here, the dangerous fast food was calling at me. It was beckoning, but I said, no, we're not going to do it. We're not going to do the fast food. We're going to eat the healthy stuff, make it ourselves, save a little money, get a little healthy. Yeah, I have a Texas sticker on my truck. I bought this van in Dallas, Fort Worth a couple of years ago. That's where I did the build out at my friend's farm in Texas. And so that's why I have Texas registration. Yeah, Super Dave, you should definitely do a YouTube channel. There's a lot of people getting into car life, SUV life. So you would definitely help a lot of people. And a lot of people would be happy to follow your journey and see how you do what you do. So I definitely recommend a YouTube channel. I think it would be a benefit to the community. And yeah, so I built out the truck in Texas. It's got Texas registration, but I will switch it over to Arizona. My Texas tags expire in September, and so I will cruise over to Arizona and register it using my dad's address in Yuma. The nice thing about Yuma is there's no emissions, so you don't have to have your vehicle smogged. There's no inspection, and my favorite part about registering a vehicle in Arizona is that you can buy your vehicle registration for up to 4 years at a time. So I can get a 4-year vehicle registration and not have to worry about it, which is pretty nice. Although I probably won't do a 4-year because I'm planning to sell this rig. So I'll probably do like a 1-year. Yeah, Donald Frazier, Arizona. Arizona is definitely, in my opinion, the best place. It's super cheap. The pricing on registration is really cheap. It's only a few $100s if you want to go do it for 4 years. Insurance is super laid back. And if you want to register your vehicle as an RV, the process is really simple. The nice thing about Arizona is they're a nomad state. Arizona economy in the winter relies heavily on snowbirds. All the people in Canada and the other Northern American states, they come down to Arizona in the winter because it's so nice and warm. And so the Arizona economy relies heavily on snowbirds in the winter, so they're very hospitable. They don't mind if you're, just in general, if you're a nomad parking up wherever you want, they're super friendly to vehicle dwellers. So I like Arizona as a home base. They do have they do have income tax in Arizona, but it's relatively low, in comparison to other states. So, yeah, I think Arizona is a great choice. I know some people do South Dakota. That's kind of one of those states. I think it might not have income tax. Yeah, exactly. That's why people like Arizona. And there's a lot of other nomad facilities in Arizona, like in Arizona, they have purified water fill stations all over the place. So you can just pull up. It's like you can get 5 gallons for 50 cents, and it's all purified, filtered water. And it's like these standalone machines outside of like grocery stores. And they're meant for RVs. So you can drive your vehicle up and then just directly fill your fresh water. So there's a lot of services like that in Arizona that are kind of purely for nomads. And so it's a super nomad friendly place to be. And then, as it gets hot, if you want to stay in the state, you can head up north to like Flagstaff or Sedona. And so you can do a lot of boondocking and hanging out in those areas as well. So Arizona has a lot to offer. I like it a lot. And I'm definitely planning on one of these years, I'm planning to spend a whole year in Arizona. So all winter in southern, and then as it gets warmer, I'll head up north through Sedona and Flagstaff. So I'll do a whole video series on that, and I think that'd be a fun time. Looking forward to it. Man, this chicken is slow to cook. It's like, these chicken breasts are super thick, and so it just takes a long time for them to cook up. I almost need to like slice them in half. How are you guys doing tonight? Happy to have you here. Thanks for joining me. If you have any questions or comments, let me know. I'm happy to just chat about whatever you guys want to chat about. So let me know what's going on in your life. Let me know about your journey of life. How's it going? What are your challenges? What are your successes? Tell me. Nomad Brad wants to know what's up with you guys. So I also just picked up some packages here in San Diego. I have a postal service. I got a bunch of Amazon packages. It's a bunch of installation parts that I need for some jobs coming up. And so there's a mailbox service you can get through iPostal1. It's the letter I, postal, the number 1.com. Aaron, yeah, it took, I mean, no joke, it took a lot of skills to build out this van. I was in the trades for 10 years, and then I remodeled my house. And then after that, I built out 4 box trucks. So it was quite, Paul says put some water in the pan. Okay, Paul, here we go. We're adding some water. Appreciate you, brother. So it was a combination of all my skills that allowed me to build out this rig. And even this one's only so nice because I built 3 before it. So it was a lot of trial and error and, you know, kind of figuring out what the best materials are and the best processes are in order to really get this vehicle built right. So it's definitely not easy. The more planning you can do, the better. So if you can really sit down, design everything, like even if you just sketch it out on paper, you know, take measurements, try to plan it all out, and that will definitely help you have a more successful build. Yeah, James, I hear you. Build videos are very popular. Yeah, background in solar business. So I definitely would recommend it. So for me, I spent 10 years as an HVAC technician. So that's where I learned electrical. And then after that, I helped a friend start a car stereo company. And so I spent about 3 years working on car electronics. So installing stereos, light bars, winches. And so working at that car stereo company taught me a lot about low voltage. So with those 2 skill sets put together, I was super comfortable working on vehicle electronics, working on solar and all that type of stuff. And then what I did is once I built out my vehicles, I just learned I just did YouTube University. I started learning about solar and electrical and how to calculate it. And the nice thing about electrical is it's all math based. So if you just, you know, need to know what size wire to use, it's just volts and amps. That's really all you need to know. And then a couple of procedures for like crimping and stripping wire, but that's about it. It's super simple. So I definitely recommend it. Basically, what you would want to do is, you know, do your own install first, get comfortable with the procedures of doing solar, and, you know, make sure your own build is solid and everything's dependable. And then once that's good, then you can go ahead and once you're good with all that, then you can go ahead and start doing it for other people. Yeah, so the stove, I actually did cut in, I did cut in a vent on the side of my rig. So I'll show you guys. I don't know if you can see it. Back here, there's a metal vent. Haha, Donald Fraser has a bachelor's in YouTube University. And then out here, that is my kitchen exhaust vent. So it's got a little flap on it, and so when the vent is on, it blows open the flap, exhausts my air, and then when the vent is off, then the flap. San Diego, this is the parking lot I'm staying at tonight. Lots of rigs out here. I'm really appreciating San Diego. They're super laid back on their parking enforcement. Lulu is in their van in Fiesta Island. Lulu, there's so much parking around you. It's everywhere. So all you have to do is, as you're driving out of Fiesta Island, when you come to that T, take a left, and then drive down like a quarter mile, and you'll see rigs parked all over the place. And so just drive it down, and then once you see rigs, just park somewhere. It's super open. There's lots of options. You can't miss it. So for the person, I forget your name, but the person that was talking about wanting to start a solar company, definitely reach out to me, and let's chat about it. I have a bunch of jobs coming in, and maybe we can do a little work together. Maybe you can help me out, and I can teach you some things, and then you might be comfortable starting your own thing. So yeah, reach out to me. Send me an email, nomadbrad503@gmail.com, and I'd be happy to meet up with you and see if I can help you out. But it's definitely it's a good industry. There's a lot of money to be made, and yeah, a lot of money to be made, and you can help people. It's nice to be able to help people, you know, on their nomadic journeys. And so solar is one thing that a lot of people are not comfortable doing on their own, which, you know, for good reason. If you mess up electrical, you can burn down your whole rig. So it's, you know, it makes sense why people would be hesitant to do solar. And so there's a lot of opportunity for you to help them with their solar, and in exchange for your help, they give you some money, and you know, that's how the economy works. People paying each other to help solve their problems. And for a lot of people that want to live on the road, electricity is a necessity, and it's a problem for a lot of folks. They can't figure it out. James has an air fryer. I like that, man. I've heard good things about air fryers. I've never used one, but I've heard good things. So I definitely would consider doing an air fryer. And so we got the veggies, I think. Let's see, Jeff, I want a 48 volt. Yes, Jeff, higher voltage is good. I have a 12 volt, and I'm perfectly happy with it. But a lot of people do 48 volt, and that's a good choice too. Basically, anything above 12 volt is going to be a good choice. Super Dave, no, I just got chicken breasts. So on the veggies, we're going to do some oil and vinegar. I got a little, the label's gone, but this is Bragg's apple cider vinegar. So we're going to sprinkle a little on top. Yes, Adam, you can lift the box trucks. If you look at U-Joint Off-Road, you can find them on Instagram or their website, but U-Joint Off-Road does lifted box trucks, and they actually have one for sale right now. It's one size up from mine. It's the 17-footer, and they put a lift on it with big tires and a 4x4 conversion. So you can definitely lift these, and you can do 4x4 pretty easily. The reason why is that you can directly bolt a transfer case onto this transmission. So you can directly bolt up a transfer case, and you can use the front axles from Ford's Super Duty pickup trucks. So parts are really easy to come by, and it's easy to have people work on them. So if you do want to do a lift kit or some kind of off-road 4x4 conversion, an Econoline is a great platform to start with. Um, DIY 30K watt hour. Wow, good for you. Hey, Nicole, happy to see you. Thanks for joining the live. You're not too late. We're just hanging out, doing some cooking. I want to say thank you to Nicole for the super chat on the e-bike video yesterday. I saw it come through. I appreciate the support. Nicole, I'm doing the live again today because I missed you guys. My live yesterday, I wasn't able to talk or check in with you guys. And so I wanted to do a makeup live and just see how everyone's doing and fill everybody in. So I'm happy to see you today. Happy you watched the live yesterday. Thanks for the super chat, Nicole. I appreciate you. Somebody asked about the OB Street Fair. I'm not sure. Yeah, so what I was going to say is, oh, there's a Cybertruck outside. There's a Cybertruck pulling a boat trailer. That's kind of funny. Let me see if you guys can see this. I don't know if it'll focus. Right there, that silver vehicle, that's a Cybertruck, and it's pulling a boat trailer. That's pretty cool. One thing I was going to say, the reason I like the 24-volt electrical system is because you can buy a lot of appliances that are natively 24 volts. Like, for example, my refrigerator is 24 volts. All my LED lighting is 24 volts. My water pump is 24 volts. So when you get 24-volt appliances, then you can just run them directly off the battery. And so you don't need any type of power converter. Also, you can get an alternator charger that runs in 24 volts. When you step up to 48 volts, you're not really going to be able to charge it easily off your starting battery. And then additionally, every device you want to run off of it is going to need a step-down converter. Now, not to deter anybody, but that's just something to consider. And that's why I did 24. But still, I think 48 is still a good choice. And just keep in mind, you'll have to run a converter for everything. Also, the 24-volt all-in-one hybrid inverter chargers, like the one I have, they're a lot smaller than the 48-volt units. So when you get like the 48-volt EG4 or the Grow Watt, they're physically quite a bit larger than the 24-volt unit. So that's just something else to consider when you do go to 48-volt. But again, it's all up to preference, and I definitely don't want to discourage anyone from doing 48 volts. And so yeah, I think it's a good choice. Anything but 12. 12 volt is so outdated. And when you work with 12 volts, everything is super high amperage. You're running huge battery cables, huge fuses, and it's just not ideal. And even Will Prowse, the off-grid electrical OG, he recommends basically nobody use 12 volt anymore. And I agree with him. Bro, I'm cooking too. Have a good dinner and happy summer solstice. Thank you. I appreciate that. My chicken is just about done. It's definitely looking better once I added the water. Thank you for the tip on that. Looking pretty good. So the question was about the entryway. I added one. You can see it right there. When I slide up the bed, when I slide the bed up into bench mode, then I have access to the door, which allows me to sneak up into the cab. So they don't come with those doors. You have to add them, but obviously it is possible. And I have a video on that. I have a video on how to add the cab access door to a box truck. So if you guys want to do that, I definitely recommend it. I think it's always a good idea to be able to get from the bed to the driver's seat without going outside. Just as a safety measure, you know, in case there's something funky going on outside, especially if you're like, you know, out in the wilderness, there might be a sketchy situation and you don't always want to have to go outside to get in the cab and drive away. So I think it's a good idea to have that access. Oh man, I'm so hungry. It was a long drive today. It was only supposed to be 2 hours to get from LA to San Diego, but it took me 4. Yeah. I agree with you, Nicole. You know what really trips me out is those teardrop trailers. Most of those teardrop trailers only have one little door to get in or out. And I feel like, I mean, could you imagine being in your teardrop and like the door breaks or the handle breaks off, or somebody comes up outside and like leans a log against your door? I mean, you're stuck. You're a prisoner. Those things don't even have windows that are big enough for you to crawl out of. So like if your one door fails, you're literally locked inside your coffin. Absolutely terrifying to me. I don't like it. I do not like it. All right, I think we're good on the chicken. Looking good. The chicken is cooked, fully cooked. Nicole says she accidentally sealed her box truck and you can't use it. What does that mean? What happened? Did you accidentally seal the rear door closed? Filling a gap on the back door and now it won't open. Oh my goodness, Nicole. So here's my question, Nicole. Was it on the bottom? Like when the sliding door comes down, is it the gap on the bottom where the door meets the steel of the floor? Or is it the side of the door? But either way, what I would do if I were you, all 4 sides and the cables, oh my God. Dang. What I would do is I would use like a Sawzall blade or a razor blade or even like a steak knife, and I would just try to run it in and just saw all along the edges. And I think you can get in there. I don't think it's like, obviously it's not like an end of the world situation, but it's definitely 7 hours. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. But that's what I would do. Yeah, I mean, your only other option is, so here's what you could do, Nicole. If you keep trying and you really can't get it, like you just can't get into it, sell it. Ah. What you could do is you could cut the hole for your access door, or if you don't want to commit to that yet, you could just cut a smaller opening. Just an opening big enough for you to get in and out of, but smaller than the opening of your door. You could cut into it. That would allow you to get in and out. And then probably once you're inside, you would be able to cut the rest of the sealant and get the door open. So that's something else you could do, is just cut a smaller hole. And then once you get your actual man door, then you could cut out the full opening for the man door. But either way, that's a bad situation. I'm sorry to hear that. That's definitely most unfortunate. Jeff says, are you stuck inside now? Oh my goodness. Yeah, Nicole, I have a video on how I did my rear door, but you could definitely do that in one day. All you have to do is just measure the door, you know, the opening, and you just cut a rectangle. So it's super easy. I did mine in I cut mine with a Sawzall in maybe an hour. So it's a pretty quick, easy job. So that might be the move, is just go ahead and cut in that man door access. But once you get to that point, then, you know, the door is permanently closed. So just keep in mind, you'll just have to build off of what's existing. So whatever you want to do. But yeah, that's probably the best idea, is to just go ahead and pull the trigger on cutting in that man door. So we got the chicken all cut up. Show you guys what's going on. We got the chicken cut up. We got the veggies. We got some oil and vinegar on the veggies. We're putting some of this Japanese sauce on the chicken. So good. So good. Nomad Brad's gonna sit down. Gonna sit down and have some dinner. Now it's up to you guys. I'm gonna eat dinner, so either I can let you guys go or I can just hang out and chill with you guys while I'm eating. And it don't matter to me, I don't mind. And I'll move the microphone away from my mouth so you don't have to listen to me chomping. But if you guys want to keep going here, then I'll just do my thing, and you know, we'll just keep it going. We will just keep it going. Ginger sauce? No, it's a Japanese barbecue sauce, and it's what it really tastes to me like is like a sweet teriyaki. Like, you know, when you go to a bento bowl or like some kind of an Asian place, they have when you go to like an Asian place, they'll have like a sweet teriyaki sauce. And so that's basically what this tastes like. Yep, if I'm chomping, don't come a knocking. I think this is actually probably my first live while I'm eating. So I'm gonna relocate the microphone. You should still be able to hear me, but at least this way you don't have to listen to me chomping. Let me know if it gets crazy. Or you should be able to hear me, it should be fine. So I'm gonna try out this chicken. Super excited. I didn't eat hardly all day. I had some breakfast and that was about it. Oh man, it's so good. Oh, it's so good. So good. Chicken's pretty much perfect. Perfectly cooked. We got just a little bit of seasoning on it. Eamon and Beck did the Food Live Eating Show. Yeah, well, that's what I'm doing. Food Live Eating Show. I know, dude, James. I need to marinate the chicken, but the problem is I'm just not that thoughtful about my cooking. You know what I mean? Like, I just get hungry and then eat. But I should have some forethought, and I should marinate the chicken because it would be a lot better. John C. uses smoked paprika seasoning. Oh, man. John C. is the ultimate chef. I got to learn. I got to learn from John C. I got to learn the ways. Because Nomad Brad's not that good of a cook. I've never really enjoyed cooking. It's always just something I've done, like, in order to, you know, I just cook in order to eat. But I really need to take more time to do it properly. And I know the food would be better, too. A lot of times my food's just kind of average. It's not really that tasty. Oh, man, but this chicken is so good. The sauce is cheating. The sauce is so good. Thank you, Nicole, for the super chat. I appreciate you. I appreciate the support. It's nice to know that you guys appreciate what I'm doing. I'm just out here trying to help you guys find your own freedom. Yes, I'm left-handed. I'm a Leo, and I'm also a lefty. I'm a lefty Leo. And, yeah. Nicole knows what it's like. When I was in school, all the desks had, like, on the right-hand side, they have a spot for your notebook. All the desks are designed for right-handed people. And this is way before, like, ADA and all the compliance stuff. So as a left-hander, I would always have to sit in my desk sideways so I could use, you know, my left hand on the right-handed notepad. And you know what's interesting is my mom is left-handed, and she was, you know, a generation before me, and they actually made her learn to write with her right hand in school. So they were so crazy back then that they wouldn't even allow you to stay left-handed. They made you use your right hand. So pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Nicole uses scissors with her right hand. Yeah, I use my mouse with my right hand. I'll give you guys a little shot of what I'm looking at. Noah, left-handed and same birthday as me, August 16th. Happy to hear it, man. Leo's in the house. James, I'm with you on that, brother. That's hilarious. So here's my view of San Diego. You can see the sun's going down. Got a few RVs parked up. This one over here, that looks like, that one on the right, that looks like the Breaking Bad RV. I wonder if they're cooking in there. But super beautiful day in San Diego. I absolutely love it here. So nice. So nice to be back in San Diego. I throw left, I write right, I bat left, I play guitar right. Homie is ambidextrous. That's what they call you. Ambidextrous. Humboldt, California. Humboldt, California. The Teal, Northern California. I gotta say, I drove through Miranda, California a couple years back, and that place was absolutely beautiful. I found a spot that I could drive down right on the Eel River, and I parked right on the riverbank. I drove through the redwoods. It was so beautiful, and the river was like the most beautiful blue-green color, and it was such a peaceful place. I love being able to sleep at night right on the river, and you open your window, you hear the water rushing by. It's so peaceful. So I definitely got a lot of love for Northern California, and looking forward to heading back through there at some point. And it's a lot slower up there, a lot slower pace, a lot more laid back. I like Northern Cali a lot. So I saw a question about e-bikes versus e-scooters. Obviously, e-scooters are just going to be easier to transport. Pretty much all of them fold up. Hey, what's going on, brother? Happy to see you. Thanks for joining the live. The downside of the e-bike is just the size of it. And so I think it depends on your intended purposes. Question about making a business out of cooking. The problem is you're going to have a lot of laws and regulations as a food truck, and I'm pretty sure you can't be living in a food truck. If you want to go completely renegade, then you could do it. John C., I like it. Nomad Brad Stock, let's go. Hey, Dave 2D Vlogs, what's up, brother? He's in the Bay. Dave 2D is back from, where were you, Dave? You were in like Minnesota or some shit? You were way out there in the boonies, man. But back in California, happy to hear it, Dave. I would love to connect with you, brother. Dude, you're one of my favorite all-time YouTubers. I love your personality. You're just so funny. Dave's a real dude. Real dude. So I'd be happy to connect with Dave, 2D Vlogs. Yeah, Michigan, that's right. And Texas. I didn't know about that. I was in Texas too, brother. I was building out this box truck in Texas. Took me like a year. Aaron just bought a 17-foot box truck. Hell yeah, brother. Welcome to Box Truck family. Happy to hear it. But yeah, Dave 2D, I would love to see you, brother. Love to do a collab. I'm going to be rolling back up in about a month. I'm going to be going back up north through Los Angeles. And then in September, I'm going to be up in San Francisco. I'll be up there for Tiny Fest. And then also I have a couple jobs in San Francisco. So I definitely want to meet up with you this summer. Let's make it happen. I'll make you a daily latte out of my coffee maker, bro. Aaron Johnson's in Sacramento. Happy to see you, brother. Dave 2D, he's an OG van life YouTuber. He used to do roast videos, which were incredibly funny. And he's a skateboarder and a painter. And yeah, cool guy. Artist. Aaron got his box truck for 10 grand. Good price, my man. Did you buy it from U-Haul or did you buy it like secondhand on Marketplace? I'm curious where you got it. That's a good price. The ones I was looking at from U-Haul were like 12 grand. But I guess the benefit is the U-Haul ones are maintained. So it just depends how long yours has been out in the wild without getting maintained. But 10's a good price. I'm glad prices are coming back down. When I bought this rig, it was like peak COVID pricing. It was like 2021. And altogether, oh, he bought it from U-Haul. Oh, the list was 12, but you got them down to 10? Oh, good for you, man. Good for you. I didn't know that U-Haul would dicker on their pricing, but I bet, depending on their inventory, they would probably give you a pretty good discount. And in fact, when I was in Monrovia last week and I went to the U-Haul service center, they had like engine was rebuilt 10,000 miles ago. Bro, that's a score. You stole that thing, dude. You absolutely stole it. Good job. I'm going to be looking for the same. I'm going to be looking for a killer deal from U-Haul. I would love to get a rebuilt engine. After meeting with AD and touring the U-Haul service facility and realizing like how much effort they put into maintaining these rigs, I'm 100% sold on buying ex U-Haul fleet maintained vehicles. 100% sold. I think it's really the best choice. Yeah, man. I mean, 204,000, but that's really not a big deal. I mean, because it's been maintained by U-Haul, they're going to take care of all that stuff. The brakes, all the wear items, bushings, everything's going to be gone through and maintained. And the reality is, these trucks with the 6.8 V10, they go, 400,000 miles. And if you have a brand new engine, that means just take care of the transmission, make sure you're changing the fluids on it. At some point, you'll have to swap it out. Oh, Dave, dude, the parking in San Diego is absolutely lit. So here's what happened. There was a guy that sued the city of San Diego on their vehicle habitation ordinance. And so as part of their settlement, they agreed to stop enforcing their habitation restrictions for 3 years. So for the next 3 years, they basically can't touch your vehicle. They can't ticket you. Um, the only thing they can do is if you've been parked in the same spot for more than like 72 hours, they can issue you a warning asking you to move. But then even then the warning has to go for like multiple days before they can tow you. So it's an absolute 180-degree turnaround. And I can say that from experience. I've been here for a couple months now. I have multiple friends that have been here for longer. No one's getting tickets. Um, so I've been staying in basically parking lots. So like all the little parks around the beach, around Fiesta Island, by Mission Bay, up at PB, all those little parking lots, you can basically just stay. I was up at the PB parking lot right next to the roller coaster. I stayed there for like 3 days. There was multiple nomads staying. Cops rolled through just to like kind of check on law and order, but it's very clear that they're standing down on their parking enforcement. So um, it's been really good. I do know I do know one YouTuber that got a ticket on her VW van, but she was out of town for like a couple weeks. She was overseas, and she was parked in residential. So I think residential might be a little different depending on the neighborhood, but um, honestly, bro, it's a lot more open. And I would say, why even bother with residential? Yeah, Dave, they still won't let you stay at Fiesta. they roll through and kick people out. And I don't know why that is. I think they're just trying to kind of hold. I mean, here's the reality, right? If they let people camp at Fiesta Island, it would turn into shit. Um, it would be full of all these shitty RVs, tons of craziness. Yeah, so I don't even try Fiesta Island. I don't bother. They still enforce it. But the place I'm at now, I'm only 2 miles from Fiesta. So when you're coming out of Fiesta, you take that first left, and as you're driving down that whole street all the way down, you'll see rigs parked up both sides, and basically every little city maintained parking lot you come across, there's rigs that are staying overnight for multiple days at a time. So it's really not a problem. Um, I would just avoid residential. I mean, you want to be close to the beach anyway. So, like all these spots, I can look out my side window and I can see the beach from here. I can see the ocean from here. So I'm super close. Like if I look out my window, like there's the ocean right there. So I can literally just walk across the parking lot and I can walk along the beach. They got a little bathroom station, and there's a little trail that goes all the way across, and it covers multiple parking lots. So you can walk for quite a ways. And so this spot right here, you can see there's tons of nomads parked up. All these people are just camping out. There's a bunch of rigs along the street, a bunch of rigs over here. There's full Class A RVs parked up, staying the night. So it's super chill, super chill. I feel like now is the best time to do it. Like you know this ain't gonna last for long, right? Like I'm totally. Oh, I realized I was walking away from the microphone. You guys probably couldn't hear that. But I realize, this is one of those situations where you just got to enjoy it while it's here. Like this ain't gonna last. Eventually, they'll clamp back down on it, and they'll start booting people out. I mean, the RVs here are getting pretty crazy. Oh, audio was fine. Awesome, thank you. The RVs are getting pretty crazy, and for like us van lifers, I wake up almost every morning and leave, right? Like sometimes I'll stay in one spot for like 48 hours, but it's pretty rare. I usually get up and leave and then come back in the evening and I pick a different spot. I rotate spots. But these huge RVs, they just park on the curb and they'll just stay for a week or two, and they look like shit, and they have their, tanks leaking, and they got a bunch of trash sprawled out. So those are the people that ruin it for everybody else. And it's only a matter of time until, something happens and the city's going to start enforcing the laws again. So in the meantime, I'm just appreciating it while it's good, enjoying it while it lasts. And so I would recommend for you guys to do the same. Dave 2D, I get 10 miles per gallon, which it's not fantastic, but when you consider that I don't pay rent and all the other bills, like I made a video on my budget for van life, and all my expenses. Last July, I lived in Austin, Texas. I was doing full van life, like moving around every night, switching spots, going to Planet Fitness for a full month, and my entire monthly expenses were like $1,200. I spent about $450 in gas, and everything else was food and gym membership and stuff. So it's like all my living expenses was $1,200. You can't even rent a place for $1,200, and even if you do get some shitty one bedroom for like $800 a month, you still got to pay for food and your internet and everything else. So no matter what, I don't care where you're living, you're not going to find a situation where you can exist as a human for a monthly expense of $1,200 or less. It's not going to happen. So I still stand behind it. And if you got a different van, you could get better mileage. But you know what's funny? I have a friend with a Transit, Dan's gaming van. He has a Ford Transit high top, and he has an e-bike that he tows on front. And he told me he only gets 11 miles per gallon. So it's like he's only getting 1 more mile per gallon than me, and he has way less space. And he finally wants to sell it and get a box truck. Like, once people realize how much space you have in a box truck and how comfortable it is, it's pretty much a no-brainer. Yeah, 1280 for a house isn't bad. That's a pretty good price, but you know, 1280, but then you got to pay insurance, utilities, groceries, and you still have to pay for transportation. Unless you walk everywhere, ride a bicycle, most people still have a car, or they Uber, or they take a bus, they have a bus pass. Like, no matter what, you still have to pay for transportation, you still have to pay for utilities, you still have to pay for internet. I was saying everything all in was 1,200 bucks, including my internet, my insurance, all my food, everything. Yeah, rent is crazy. Yep. And they want deposit. Cracker Jackson, a Transit 250, he gets 14 in town and 18 highway. That's nice. That's very good. That's very good economy. Yeah, you can definitely get better fuel economy in a different vehicle. But the other thing to consider is it depends on your lifestyle. Um, I usually stay in a place for a while. Like I do big traveling a couple times a year. Like I'll go to Arizona in the winter, or maybe I'll go to Oregon in the summer. But other than that, I pretty much stick around one spot. Like I'm not trying to conquer the country. I'm not doing a 50-state tour. Um, for me, that's just kind of exhausting. The whole point of van life is to just kind of slow down, enjoy the journey, not be stressed, not be in a hurry, and just live and enjoy the place you're at. And so for me, that means, traveling a couple times a year, but then just staying put. And so it keeps my gas expenses low. The great thing about being in San Diego is literally anything I want is within 10 miles of where I'm staying right now. Planet Fitness, shopping malls, Whole Foods, the beach, anything you could want is less than 10 miles away. And like my current sleeping space is only 3 miles from the beach. And the grocery store is on the way. So I literally drive about 6 miles a day just to get from my parking spot to the beach. So when you look at it that way, it's pretty darn affordable to do this type of living. And the benefit too is when you have a big vehicle like a box truck, it's a lot more comfortable to spend time in it, to hang out, cook meals. Um, you can watch a movie or play video games or do computer work, whatever you want to do. Just having all this space, you don't get cramped and feel as claustrophobic. Um, and so you're not as tempted to like want to be always moving or like going out to eat because it's just comfortable in here. So I wonder if Dave 2D is thinking about getting back into the van life game. What's interesting is living in a vehicle, it changes you for the better. It makes you realize, first of all, it makes you realize you don't need all this shit to be happy. You realize really what's important to you. You don't need all the stuff. You don't need all the widgets from IKEA, the furniture, all the little desks and stuff. You don't need all that stuff to be happy. And you prefer not having all that clutter and stuff to maintain. And so that's the first thing is it makes you realize you don't need as much stuff. You're happier spending less money. You can work less to pay the bills, so you have more free time. And additionally, having the flexibility of being able to travel and just go wherever you want, and like you can go to a movie and then stay the night by the movie theater. You can go to a concert, stay the night by the venue. Like just that flexibility of wherever you go, you always have your home with you. It's absolutely priceless. And that's my personal favorite part about it. Everywhere I go, I have all my tools, all my clothes, I have my computer, all my food. I can take a nap, I can make dinner, I can use the bathroom. I can do whatever I want, wherever I want. It's absolutely priceless to me. All right, Dave says we'll see. A lot of chapters closed. I hear you, brother. A lot of chapters close. So, there's that corny old cliche that, when one door closes, another one opens. But it's very, very true. And so for me, when I come across a situation where I'm having a lot of doors close, I definitely try to take time to reflect and think about, kind of reflect on the last couple years or whatever the last chapter of my life was, reflect on it, figure out what I liked about it, what I didn't like, and then try to really look at what you want your future to look like. And, be intentional about it and try to make steps towards a future that's going to bring you the most happiness. Because at the end of the day, we really owe it to ourselves to try to be as happy as possible. And you got to take care of yourself, number one. You got to make yourself the priority. Because if you're not happy and you're not living a good life, you're not going to be able to help other people be happy and help other people live their good life. And that's kind of what humanity has gotten away from, is you really got to make sure you're happy and you're your best self, and then you can go help other people and give other people a hand up. So I would encourage you to figure out, Dave, what really is your most happiness. Like, what's your happy place, man? What was most enjoyable for you? And whether that's being creative or creating videos or doing photography, I know you are good at making people laugh. And so maybe you want to dig back into making people laugh. Maybe that's something you want to get back into. I know there's a lot of happiness in that, but try to figure out what it is, Dave, that will make you the most happy, and then figure out how you can make that happen. And the great thing about van life, as you know, is it's super affordable. It's easy to get started. You've lived in some real bare bones conversions. So I know, it doesn't take much to get started. And the great news is you have super low overhead. So, and I always tell people van life doesn't have to be forever. It can just be a stepping stone. But if you want to get back into home ownership, you could use van life as a platform to get back on your feet, start creating, build up some savings, um, you know, do work, start your own business. It's a good platform to keep your overhead low and save money. And then you can use that as a jump off point for whatever your next chapter might be. But I really think van life, it's a no brainer for most people, regardless of your situation in life. Just the fact that you can have such a low overhead, it gives you so much freedom to take the time to create the life you want. And I think that's really one thing that people don't think about. The way the world is going and the way that life is right now, they're pushing everybody to be so busy and distracted and like locked in that everybody's stuck. And people are feeling that right now. If you look all across social media, everyone's complaining about the cost of rent, the cost of car insurance, everything's going up. The easiest way to exit that trap is to lower your overhead. And the biggest overhead that people struggle with is housing and transportation. Those are the two most expensive places. People are spending $2,000 a month on an apartment, and then they're spending $1,000 a month on a car payment. That's every month. $3,000, I could spread that over 2 months easily. So that's something to consider, is as everything squeezes you down and gets more tight, do whatever you can to kind of get out from underneath that. And once you're out from underneath that pressure, you'll just find yourself in such a better place. I hope Dave 2D comes back to the van life game. I'd love to hang out with him. Love to collaborate on some content. Yeah, good advice from Ryu. The first step to van life is minimizing. So you got to get rid of all your stuff. And I promise you'll be happier once you do. So Hey, Edge, what's up, brother? How you doing, man? I'm just chilling, eating some chicken, some veggies. So here's the best way for you guys to get started. This is what you do. Go rent a storage unit. Take all your extra stuff and put it in the storage unit. All that stuff you don't use on a regular basis, all your extra clothes, your extra shoes, all your like trinkets and your art and all your little knickknack stuff, all your bobbleheads, take it all to storage. You don't have to get rid of it. Put it in storage. Pay that storage bill every month and then realize that how little of that stuff you actually use on a regular basis. And then realize that all that stuff is costing you money every month. It's an expense to maintain all that stuff. And most of that stuff you're paying to maintain, it's not really bringing you any value, right? Think about it. If it's in storage and you're not using it, what value is it bringing you? It's really just hanging out and costing you money. So it's a liability. So once you realize that you're not really benefiting from it, then it's easier psychologically to eliminate it. Trim it down, sell it, give it away, do what you got to do. Noah found my box build playlist. Hell yeah, brother. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. So, and you'll realize you're actually a prisoner to your stuff. Because most people are working to pay for the stuff and to have a household that's larger than what they really need to live to store the stuff. And so you're really a prisoner to all your stuff. And once you can release the stuff and let it go, you get freed from that entrapment. It's a wonderful thing. So that's the first step. Get a storage unit, put your stuff in there. Yeah, Dave 2D pulled all his videos down. Dave 2D was a pretty popular YouTuber. He was pretty big, probably like 3-4 years ago. And some shit went down, and he pulled all his videos, which I totally understand. I got mad respect for Dave 2D, nothing but love. I get it. I totally get it. And so he kind of just went off grid for a while. And I hope he returns. I miss Dave 2D. He brightened my day, and so I hope he comes back. Still working on this chicken. You know what's interesting is I'm a super fast eater, and I know it's not good, right? I'm like just shoveling food in normally. Oh man, I'm trying to read your comment. Thank you for the $5 super chat. But it went by so fast, I can't see it. Let me see if I can pull it up. Hold on. How do you get residents in your RV for jobs that require area distance radiuses? So, this is what I would recommend. So here's the thing, keep in mind, most jobs, when they require stuff, they're not going to check. They're too busy. They have hundreds of applicants. They just want to make sure they can check off all the boxes. So, I mean, keep in mind, most, like, your employer is not going to send you mail. Pretty much all paychecks are direct deposit or you pick them up at the office. They don't send you anything in the mail. So you really don't need a residence to receive mail. But this is what I would do. I would use ipostal1.com. That's what I use to get mail. And they will give you a real street address in your area. They have mailboxes all over the country. It's only like $12 a month. You can receive mail and packages. And it's a real address. So I would just go to ipostal1.com, get an address from them, and you'll be good to go. And when you look at it, it just looks like an apartment complex because it'll say whatever the street address is, and then it'll have a number with a unit next to it. So that's what I would do. And I would just get one that's close to the job you want to get. Oh, man. Well, I got 90 people here hanging out in the chat. I appreciate you. You could use your local RV park. You could. Yeah, you could do an RV park. You could also just make it up. I mean, honestly, I don't think a job is going to check. How are they going to check and know if you actually live somewhere? I don't think it matters. Yeah. Yeah, you could definitely do a barber shop. I see quite a few mobile barbershops down here in California. You could definitely do that. Um, that would be a good idea because you don't have any kind of health codes you have to worry about. And there's, I mean, you can see how much room it is in here. You could definitely have room. Um, you could definitely have room down here to have like a big mirror and a haircut station, no problem. That'd be a good choice. And I know you could get a big following by advertising on Instagram. You know, mobile barbershop, just travel around, do haircuts. That's a good idea. And if barbershops can make enough money to pay for rent in San Diego, think about how much money you could save up when you're making barbershop money and you're not paying rent. Thank you, Nicole. Yes, I agree. 90 people, that's got to be close to an all-time high. Bringing in the vibes. Appreciate everyone being here for a little box truck knowledge, a little life advice. I think you can use iPostal One for everything. Um, I have my mail forwarded to iPostal One, and so they, as far as I'm concerned, that's my address. I use it for all my regular mail. All right, John C. Good night, brother. Have a good night. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. And you have a good day, John C. Um, I think you could use it for a driver's license. Stephen Baker with the question. My box truck. No, Noah, this is my box truck, bro. I I spent about 12,000 on the conversion. I didn't take very good notes of really how much I spent. That's just a guess. Show you guys the rig. Step outside. You can see I'm in a parking lot right now. The sun just went down. Doing a little live streaming. See that? You guys thought I was in a friend's house, thought I was in an apartment building. I'm in a box truck, baby. Hanging out with the Nomads. There's that Tesla Cybertruck over there. This is where I'm going to stay the night. Absolutely beautiful. And then in the morning I'll get up and do a morning walk along the water. So peaceful. Absolutely loving it here. Very nice. Ouch. Yeah, sorry guys. I the microphone, I left it on the table here. Forgot about that. But all I was saying is giving you guys a little shout out and showing you the views. I'm gonna stay the night here, and in the morning I'll wake up, go for a walk on the beach. Coming to you from my box truck. You got it, York Ballers. Happy to see you. Happy to see you. Edge, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. I appreciate the support. I'm here to help anybody that wants it on their journey. I've found so much freedom and comfort and enjoyment and happiness in my decision to ditch a traditional job, ditch traditional housing, and live on the road. And so I want to encourage as many people as are interested in, especially right now with what's happening in the economy. I think there's no better time than now to do it. Save yourself all the stress and the headache of inflation. Even with prices on food and gas going up, it doesn't matter. When you're saving $2,000 to $3,000 a month on housing, it literally does not matter. And you have the freedom to travel. You can follow the good weather. You can follow the good prices. You can set up an iPostal 1 mailbox anywhere you want. They're all over the country. Edge asked about insurance. I pay about $100 a month through Progressive. I have a commercial policy, and so it's about $100 a month. And then I saw a question about which box truck. Oh yeah, friend's house about address. Yeah, you could definitely do that. Question about which box truck, Isuzu or U-Haul. I like the U-Haul because you can do the pass-through into the cab. You cannot do that on an Isuzu because the design of the Isuzu is the engine is underneath the cab. So all the cabs are tilt forward cabs. So you really can't cut in an access. Commando, I have camped at Home Depot. You can, but my preference is to camp out on the city streets because really nobody's going to hassle you as long as there's not any no parking signs. Nobody's going to hassle you about being parked on the city street. SDK02, I found your videos really convenient. Thank you, sir. I appreciate the super chat. Happy to know you guys are finding value in the content. I'm doing it for you guys. You know, I want to make sure I can help you guys out, find a solution, find something that's good for you, and move it right along. Yes. Yeah, iPostal 1, the way they work is the way iPostal 1 works is they subcontract with stores all across the country and office buildings. So, for example, I set up my iPostal 1 account at the local Staples here in San Diego. So, my mailing address is the physical street address of Staples, and then it has a unit number next to it. I'm mailbox number 1032. So, when you fill out all your paperwork, you put in your address. The address you put in would be the street address of whatever brick and mortar store or office building, and then with a unit number. But the cool thing is, when people input that into their like data bank, it doesn't come up as like a mail center. So it kind of throws off the system a little bit because if you use like a post office box or like a mail center, they have to register differently with the US Postal Service. But when you do it this way, they don't catch on to it. So it's kind of a little side hack. So, yeah, it's definitely a good choice. I'm going to go close this window. Hold on. So, I like iPostal 1. I think it's a good price. It's a good value. Plus, they'll hold the packages for you. So, you know, like if you're going to travel a little bit, you might want to leave the packages there for a week or two. And that way, you can leave your packages for like, I think about a week for free. And then after that, they charge you a small amount. But however long you're gone, if you're not there, they'll just hold them for you. So, it's a pretty nice service. Not that expensive. And, you should be able to use it for all your official documents, your driver's license, your insurance, all that kind of stuff. So I think it's a pretty good value. Oh my goodness, what a day today. What a day. So what else is going on, guys? Yeah, 5 to 30 days depending on the package. Yeah. So if you have like a huge ass package, then it can't stay as long. But when you have like a regular package, then it's not too bad. Man, I forget her name, but she's I ran into her a couple weeks ago. She came down to the San Diego Van Life meet, and she's a subscriber. She might be watching the live right now. Actually, I saw she had a phone in her hand, but super nice lady. Um, she lives in a transit van, and she's actually parked right across the street from me here. So it's cool. It's cool to meet up with other subscribers and see other people that are out here doing it, doing the thing, finding the freedom. And she told me, she's on a fixed income. Her husband died, and so she has a really low income, but being able to van life and travel, she's able to still explore and have some freedom and not pay a bunch of money on rent. So she's just another example of someone that's out there doing it, finding freedom, and living on the cheap. And she's like, she's an older lady, so if she can do it, you guys can do it too. Bunch of vans pulling in for the night. I'm curious to see as we roll into summer, how many more, like how blown up it's going to be, because already it's like when I first came to San Diego in March. I came for a couple weeks, and it was pretty dead. And then when I came back in May, there was a lot more people. And then since I've been here, it's been gradually ticking up, like the amount of vehicle dwellers. And so now it's like getting pretty packed out. So I'm curious to see in July or August like how many people are down here. It might be a big van life party. We'll see. Somebody asked about my kitchen backsplash. So what that is, you guys have probably seen this before, but it's glass. It's glass wall art. So it's literally just a picture, like a photograph, that's printed on glass, right? Like, look at this. See that? So it's a sheet of glass. It's printed. A photo's printed on it, and that's my backsplash. And the reason I did that is I wanted something that would easily wipe clean. And so it's super easy to clean the grease off. You can just use some Windex and a paper towel. So all my kitchen grease wipes off really easy, and it keeps the white walls clean. And I like the image. I didn't take the photo myself, but I found it on Amazon. So if you go to Amazon, if you go to Amazon, um, if you go to Amazon and type in um, tempered glass backsplash, they have hundreds of designs and photographs, all different sizes, and they're only like 130 bucks. So pretty good value, and I'm really happy with it. Make sure if you guys get one, you want the tempered glass. All right, Dave 2D, thanks for hanging around, brother. I will hit you up. I hope you get back into van life, bro. I'd love to hang with you. Either way, I'm going to come visit you, and we'll just get together and chop it up, brother. Thanks for dropping by today. Appreciate you, Dave. Um, if you guys get the backsplash, make sure you get the tempered glass because that is true glass, but it's safety glass, so if it does break, it's not going to cut you. But if you get the acrylic glass, all right, Nicole's out. Thank you for dropping by, Journey with Nicole. I appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat. I hope you can get into your box truck. I hope you find a solution for cutting in that door, and I hope the next time I talk to you, you have made it back inside. Have a good evening, Nicole. If you get the acrylic glass backsplash, it's plastic, and it's not as durable. It won't clean up as easily, and it'll get scratches on it. It'll still work, but it's not ideal. You want the true tempered glass. Man, we're just cooking. It's been 100 minutes. I think I'm gonna jump off here. Um, I think I'm going to finish up my dinner. It's hard to eat when I'm talking so much. Like all my food is still sitting here waiting to be eaten. So I think I'm going to hop off. Happy trails. Happy to see you. Thanks for being here. Happy trails. Hoping to see you soon, brother. Maybe I'll catch you in Arizona when I come through. Maybe we can hang out with cousin Lonnie, do some stealth camping. But anyway, that's it for me, guys. I'm going to take off. It's been a pleasure. I'm posting a new video for Sunday, and I will see you guys at my regular scheduled live next Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific. I'd like to thank everybody that came in tonight and left a super chat to support the channel. And additionally, I appreciate everybody just participating. So asking questions really helps me engage with you guys and then provide value and information for everybody else watching. So thank you for participating, however you participate. I appreciate you. This is Nomad Brad signing out. Peace.